What's going on, guys? Should be coming through on my end. I think it is. At least. What's up, guys? I wanted to hop on here and do a quick little AMA session. I just released the new Coin Life episode, and I always like to get in an AMA session in there, and I didn't get to do it. So I figured I would do it after. Hop on here, answer some questions. You guys can shill some coins. We can look at some stuff before I wrap up and go to bed. So I'm going to start doing these at least once a week. So throw a like, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, do whatever you have to or not. But you'll get notified when I go live, and join the free Telegram as well. We go over a bunch of setups, strategy, and stuff like that. And I will I'll announce these in there. I'll usually just do that instead of going through Twitter. So what's going on, Ricky? Everyone on here. Ricky said turn on the camera. I hope you can see now, man. What's up? What's up, Frank? Franco, Double Frank. What's up, Rick? What's up, Thomas? Glad to be back. What's going on, man? What's up, Brian? Tico, greetings. Nico. Tico and Nico right there. What's up, Tony? Chino. Coinstart, David, Andy, Bob. A lot of people in the house. What's going on, guys? Yo. What's up, Johnson? Estapa, Sally, Chino, Big Mac. Good to see Big Mac in here, as always. What's going on, guys? The floor is yours. I want to see what you guys are interested in covering. Obviously, as alts are kind of taking off, and I imagine there's some coins you guys want to look at. So I'm happy to go over anything. One real quick announcement. Chino said Luke versus Don on the ETH move. Yeah, we can cover that too. Yeah, what's going on, Arliss? What's up, Thomas? What's up, Winston? What happened to the Flyers? The Flyers got killed, Sam. Absolutely. I don't even want to talk about that, man. I don't even want to talk about that. Real quick, before we jump into the crypto stuff, before I take questions, if you missed this at the very beginning, I do want to do one of these once a week. So I'm either going to do it here on YouTube or on Instagram. I have the link to my Instagram below. So I do want to start live streaming at least once a week, answer some questions, and get to know and also learn from you guys. So hang out for a little bit once a week. So throw that subscribe down there. What's going on? Caps suck too. Yeah, so Craig, I'm just going to start pulling these. I know there's probably a program. I think I've seen Ian use a better program to pull the top questions, but for now, I'm just going to take these questions right out of the chat. So let's see here. Thomas said, this is a good question because I have ETH up. Let me zoom out a little bit with ETH. I'm also going to clean this up a little bit. But Thomas said, will you be looking at a new ETH channel to track alts? So that's a good question. It's a good question because that's kind of the stuff that I like to study a lot more than some micro research. So Thomas and for anyone else interested in that kind of ETH channel, that ETH Bitcoin channel, I use this to kind of time, and it's a really rough guide, right? It's not perfect. There's disparity among different alts, especially large caps, mid caps, or small caps. But I don't think there's a need for a new channel at all. I actually think this has still been a really nice timer. In fact, if we look at how ETH has done just in the last week, right, when it made this jump, if we're going to call this the last week, I don't know the exact day that it started, this jump up to the next fib level, all the alts kind of moved to that exact same point. Now they've hung out kind of in this region, right, at that 30 or 50% pump kind of range, and they've all kind of paused. Now as I'm, watching ETH as kind of a timing mechanism again, as it kind of takes off out of this pattern, this is a trade I gave on Twitter as a trade I'm taking. I expect all alts to kind of make that next leg up as well, if Bitcoin can keep the momentum going. So, or ETH can keep the momentum going. So I still think this channel is a fine guide for timing, alts, or at least understanding how they're valued. Right, this is never gonna last forever. Right, trends are gonna change, but for now, I think this is still a really nice guide. This being the bottom of each cycle. Right, it kind of starts at the beginning of each year. Top of the previous cycle back here in June. Hopefully that answers your question, Thomas. Winston wants to buy all the coins. Yeah, I kind of have a different approach on that, Winston. I don't like to trade. I think Zeus had a really good post on this on Twitter the other day. And he was just talking about, only focusing on maybe 1 to 3 or 5 coins or certain trades that he's in. That's not to say you can't be invested in more coins, but when I'm just trading, right, actually taking a trade and looking for an exit on those trades, I really only want to be trading, 1 to 4 or 5 coins. That's honestly what's helped me. So, some guys can track a lot more. more power to them. I try to track less. So you got to resist the urge to buy all the coins, Winston. At least that's what I do. What's up, David? He said, why do you think Loom is taking off? David, I think Loom's starting to get some recognition. I think it's a project that, and full disclosure, I definitely do have a position. I've talked about this one a little bit. It's starting to get some recognition. It got some recognition pretty cool from Vitalik, and he kind of was pretty constructive in how he talked about how Loom was going to help, potentially help, plasma development and scaling and a couple other things. So I think people are starting to catch on. It's a project that definitely isn't focused on hype. It seems like they're focused on shipping product. So I think the hype will come. The market will work. Vin with a good question. Status on the Lambo node. Let's pull up that Lambo node. We're quite a ways off from a Lambo node. Vin, I think a node right now is only going to be what, $37,000. So we're a ways off from the Lambo node. For those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about with the Lambo node, let me pull it up real quick. Because here we go. It's kind of when I first started tracking XCC and was sharing it with the community on Twitter and also with the Telegram community. Talked about investing in a Z node and it possibly becoming that Lambo node. So we tracked it all the way from the Honda Civic, all the way up to the Maserati in the i8. And Loops told me, he told me that was enough and that I should sell and tap out. And he was right. I said we have to make it to Lambo. Exactly that line of thinking. And now we're right back at minivan. So I'm still holding a Z node. Still running my node, but I think we're a ways off from the Lambo node. But yeah, road to Lambo node. I'll start this up. We'll start round 2, especially if alts are going to make this resurgence and can keep this momentum. I'll definitely start round 2, see if we can ever make it. Loops won that round though. Shout out Loops. You guys, you'll be surprised. The longer you hear them, the more you kind of realize how good some of maybe the more cryptic traders on here are. What else we have? Any thoughts on small cap Devery Eve partnership with the UN? No, but I saw Startail mention that on Twitter. I think that was Eve he mentioned. I'm unfamiliar. I don't. I look at some small caps. I don't know them all though. I never will. I don't know Eve. Sam said harder to find undervalued alts now. Sam, I don't think it's necessarily harder. Right, I think it's always relative, right? So you can always find alts that are valued cheap relative to kind of other alts that you're comparing them against. One thing that I like to do, and one thing that I talked about kind of in late March and early April is how I was trying to pick them out, right? If we're going to call this kind of the beginning of when alts really moved, right, back here at the beginning of December. Let me zoom out a little bit more. So this, for those of you guys unfamiliar, if this is kind of the beginning of each alt cycle, right? This is when alts are cheap and weak all along this green line. Beginning of December, that's when things really ran. They ran for about a month. It was really shortened kind of alt push or pre-pump, whatever you want to call that. So if that's the December 5th, December 7th low, right? What I was looking for end of March, kind of beginning of April was a lot of actual coins, alts, ETH wasn't there yet, but a lot of coins were kind of along their either December 5th, December 7th trend line. So they were down here, or they were actually down just as low. They were kind of on the December 5th, December 7th support, right? So what I would do is kind of use reference points as to where you think we are in the current cycle, where that matches up to the last one. You can find, zoom out is kind of how I would look at it, and find undervalued alts. I think there's definitely still plays to be made, Sam. It's probably not the ones that everyone's tweeting about. I'll give you that hint. If everyone's tweeting about winning that trade that day, that's probably not the undervalued alt. A question from Fuck. He said, that's a creative name there. Any thoughts on Aeon? I like Aeon. I like the interoperability kind of alliance there. More bullish on WanChain, but I think Aeon's kind of a nice fit in there. I think it's maybe the cheapest. I'm seeing a lot of Eve shills. Don't know anything about Eve, guys. Let me switch over to Bitcoin as well, so I can watch for my own benefit here. What else do we got? You guys have any other questions? Not coin based. Anything else? Any other questions? What do you got? Someone said prediction. What's the prediction? What are you talking about? Thoughts on Enigma? Thoughts on RDN? All right, these are really rolling in. Andy, that's a good one. I'll take that. Thoughts on McAfee partnering with Lux? One thing that I try to do, guys, and this goes in so many facets, right? It goes in terms of people with large followings posting charts. It goes with people. ComEd, we'll cover that one, and that's a good question as well. I'm gonna get both those. I just tagged both your guys' questions. But kind of going back to McAfee partnering with Lux, my thoughts on that. My thoughts are the same as when a big account shares a coin. My thoughts are the same when a big account backs a project they like. My thoughts are the same really in the entire space. And what I mean by that is I don't really care what anyone else does. I try to make it as trustless as possible. So if someone shares a chart I like, I'm just going to kind of assume the worst. I honestly think that most people are here kind of are morally straight and are kind of not out to get you or dump on you. Maybe they are. But just go into it kind of with that thought process of, if someone posts a chart, it might pump 5 or 10%. Just wait for it to retrace. It usually takes like 2 hours or something, or like a day. So if someone, a high profile name, joins a project as an advisor, or they recommend investing in an ICO or things like that, just make it trustless, take that in, think rationally. I don't know. I think it's probably a smart marketing play by Lux. That's really my only thought. I might stay away from it. I imagine it might pump. That's really my only thought. I don't know too much about Lux. I usually stay away from anything that McAfee pumps. That's kind of my position. But I don't think it's bad or good, right? It's kind of like a free market. I want everyone to do whatever they want to do. If you don't like what someone's doing, my kind of thought process has always been put them out of business. So do it better. I don't know. No real thoughts there, Andy. I think people kind of play too much into that and worry about stuff that doesn't really matter. Seth is a good question. What confidence do you have the bottom is in for the overall market? Seth, I don't like to call tops and bottoms. That's just a losing game statistically, and it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if I called the bottom on Bitcoin and I'm right? I could go to Twitter and call the bottom on Bitcoin and call the bottom on alts, and then in a month I can retweet it and look like a hero. I think what's better to do is just to kind of approach. You're going to approach the market the same way, kind of regardless, right? If you're, I like to think about it in terms of relative valuation. So I personally think that alts are cheap. I thought that since the end of March, right? And I'm overweight alts. I talked about that on my YouTube the other day. So regardless of whether or not it's the bottom, I think alts are cheap and I want to be invested in them. I think, sure, they might go a little bit lower, especially if Bitcoin makes a violent move. But to me, that doesn't change anything. I'm going to still be invested in them. They're moving up. My personal opinion, not financial advice. Bullish Benjamin said Cloak Coin. Not sure what you mean there, man. But Cloak Coin did have a really nice pump after they got added to Binance. Typically happens when coins get added. They get that kind of, when coins are more accessible. Ari Paul has a nice segment on this. When coins are more accessible, easier to store, anything like that, it's going to cause the price to go up. This is just, it's such a new space, right? What else? ComEd, where do you shop for clothes? Online on the ASOS store. Really nice store there. Not a sponsored ad. F. All right, his question said, how does your bot work? Good question there, F. So I was running an account. It still is running, but the signals are turned off for right now. For anyone watching, let's pull it up. For anyone interested in this page, Coinist bot. I need to get this fixed. It's running on the back end. On my side, it's running great, right? And I'm getting all the signals. The problem is, for a while, I was getting duplicate messages or duplicate values when it was pasting to Twitter. I fixed that. But for some reason, the bot, it was still missing signals. So just transferring the script over to TradingView and having that push out updates wasn't working. So I'm working on a better solution. I'm going to have a solution on my website so you guys can see a feed there. I'm also going to upload a video about how it all works. Regardless, it's been a fun experiment for me. I think it's still up around 32% when the market's down, so in the last 2 months. And you know, if it gets a couple people interested in automated trading and they can learn about that, also make some money, then everyone wins. So it's a cool project. Right now, this page isn't operating, but I am going to fire this up. I know by the end of the month I will have something. I'm working with my programming team. So once they have a solution for me, I'm hoping it's going to be web-based, maybe even something you can download. But stay tuned for that. That's going to be really cool. Let me pick a couple other ones. Levi, the only thing I'm going to say with that is watch out for the scammers under my posts, guys. Anyone asking you ever to send them money, I never ask you to send me money. Don't send me money. I don't know. Don't send ETH to some random website. Joining my group. What else do you have? Andy, with fib retracements, do you use wicks or the body of the candle? Andy, I always use wicks. I just use the high and lows. So regardless if that's a wick or the body, I'm going to use the highest and the lowest, right? The swing high and the swing low, or vice versa. Update on Edge, Thomas. No update on Edge. It's still above the entry, so I think it's hanging around 8%. I looked at it earlier today. Still hasn't reached the first target for me, which is around 40%, and then kind of the second target, which is the full trade. That'd be a 2x. It's still sitting right in there. Being patient there. I don't like to touch coins if they haven't reached their predetermined exits, so no action from me. Right? I don't want to make my job any harder. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Bitcoin trader. I appreciate it, man. Always spreading the love. Smash out the likes. Throw a comment. Throw whatever you guys have to do. I'm gonna let this ride for another 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm gonna wrap it up. What else we got? And then I have one cool announcement at the very end. I just want to make sure you guys can check out. Sam, I like that coin a lot. You know, I like any platform infrastructure coin. It was cool meeting the team. Budatum, are you investing in any ICOs? This is a good question. Are you investing in any ICOs with the market being like this? And how do you overall feel about ICOs this year moving forward? The one thing that I want to keep in mind, Budatum, and especially as you're looking at ICOs, let me just take a real quick scroll down my Twitter feed. Let's see if you guys can see any. The one thing that I want to throw out there, and I guess it's getting worse the longer I'm here, or I guess kind of the longer crypto Twitter exists, any ICO that you see on here, right, I would probably stay away from. As you see, John McAfee, Shill Lux. You know, most of the ICOs you're seeing on here, it's probably a paid type deal, right? So, and you know, that's not to say you should stay away from all ICOs on Twitter or anything like that. But I'm also staying away from ICOs for a different reason. I'm staying away from ICOs just because of the price of ETH. Right now, if you invest in an ICO and it's going to take you, let's say, a month or 2 months or 3 months to get back your tokens, you're going to have to, you know, beat the return of ETH, right? Because that's how you should be measuring your return. It's the opportunity cost of investing that ETH. It's not the dollar value, right? Unless you are investing dollars, I guess you could measure in both. I think it's a little bit more objective to measure in ETH. So right now, I don't think it's as attractive. There is one that came across my desk that I'm looking at. I think I might invest in, but I haven't really for the last month. I've been doing more trading. I think it's a more attractive market to trade in. Budatum, I don't think ICOs are going away. I don't think they're going anywhere at all. I think we're going to continue to kind of move towards a more traditional finance approach or venture capital, and whether or not people think that's right or that was the goal of ICOs. I'm not up here to debate or make a decision. I think that's just the way we're going to go. I think it's only probably going to be accredited investors. I think projects might do airdrops and help spread the token that way, help distribution that way. But I imagine it's going to go a lot more towards, you know, accredited, or at least I think it already is kind of away from U.S. investors if you're not accredited, right? And if they're not doing that, I'd probably stay away. What else we got? CobMed, thanks for the kind words, brother. I appreciate the support, dude. Really nice of you. What's up, Tony? What are your thoughts on the media like CNBC telling their audience, oh man, to buy certain cryptos? Tony, it's kind of going off that, you know, what I talked about with McAfee earlier. You know, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect me if you're gonna, think about it and that affects kind of the plumber down the street, then I don't know. I'm not here to debate, kind of moral issues, right? I'm here to trade the asset in front of me and make money. So whether I think it's right or wrong, it's financial news. It's entertainment more than it's probably news or education. So I would just take it like that. I think it's entertaining. I'll say that. One show that I would recommend watching is check out Rand Noir's Crypto Trader show. He's a great guy, incredibly informed, incredibly connected in the space. I think they do a way better job than CNBC Fast Money does. So check him out. He has some really informed people on there. I'm always humbled to go on there and be surrounded by people much smarter than me. So check him out. I like that CNBC show a lot better. What else we got? Andy, it's a nice Komodo shill. I like it. I'm getting a lot of Komodo shills. I know about Komodo. I need to learn more. I'll check it out. Let me take one more good one. IHO, I'm not going to show my top 5 coins. Search that on YouTube. I'm sure there's some kid who's going to tell you the next 5 100Xs. Not me. What else do we got? Eric, good question to wrap it up. No, we won't wrap it up with that. If you want to get involved in the crypto space, man, reach out to people like me. Don't reach out to me. Maybe I might not be able to answer, but reach out to other people in the space that you see they're doing something you like, or they're working with a company you like. You'd be surprised how much access you have. That's one reason that I stayed here. It's one reason that I stayed so active here. That's one reason that I loved this place when I came is I reached out to people and they all responded. Right, so don't just reach out and ask them a question. Reach out and help. Provide some value, and you'd be surprised. What kind of comes back. I wouldn't expect anything. Just reach out, help people. Say something nice. Do whatever you have to do. Seth, how old am I? Thanks, Alex. Coinstar, how many hours a day do you work or trade? It doesn't really feel like work, man. I don't know. I like some days. Today I worked a lot. Some days, I take some time off and travel and hang out with friends and get a good workout in. So it varies. I'm here a lot. Let's just say that. Last one, Bitcoin fund manager guy. I would stay away from that. That is a scam. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. A lot of good questions coming in. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. The one announcement before I do wrap it up, I'm going to post the link in the morning to the new Coin Life. It's already on my YouTube page, but I'm going to post the link. Please go give that a like, a comment, subscribe. The episode is definitely a little bit different from the previous 2 flows, but I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing kind of behind the scenes, what I was doing in a down market. It's a little bit of a different creative piece. But I'm just trying to put out some stuff and see what you guys like, see what helps people. So have a bunch of new ideas coming to YouTube. Please subscribe because it helps these get bumped up. It helps the BitConnect and the guys that tell you the top 5 coins that are going to 100x tomorrow get bumped down. So please do that. Help me out. And I want to keep helping you guys out and keep learning from you. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Throw a subscribe, throw a like I said. I will see you guys on Twitter, and we'll be doing this again. I'll see you guys sometime in the next week. I'll post the link in my free Telegram, so join that free Telegram. In the meantime, guys, keep making that Bitcoin. Peace. Signing off.